Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Hope everyone is doing well today. So this is the map in the world. We're in 868 AD. Uh, wait, is it? What is this? Anyway, um, not important. So, the year is 868 AD, which 867. Anyway, it's not accurate. Already off, already off, already off. Let me reload this map. This is a year in advance. New game. Okay, so 867 actually is the date we need to go with and go from there. Okay, forgive me. So, the reason for this video is inshallah in the future, we will do a show, an R2F show, on the fall of Constantinople, and the person that is responsible for the fall of Constantinople, the person who was foretold by the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu to be the one to overthrow Constantinople. This great leader who will have the best of armies and be one of the best of leaders. And he will take over the Constantinople and the Byzantine Empire. Which, when you think about it, it's kind of crazy, right? The Muslims are in Mecca down here, right? And they're just talking and asking the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu how far will the Muslim Empire grow? How big will the Ummah become? And these it wasn't even that many Muslims at the time, and he's telling them about this is authentic hadith. I don't have the exact narration or quote, so forgive me for that. But essentially, he's saying that there will be someone of the ummah who will go be a great leader and have a great army, and that army will go and conquer Constantinople. Right. So Constantinople is known as this insane metropolis, heaven on earth type of like castle kingdom, right? And the Muslims are these Bedouin Arabs in the desert. You know how far away Constantinople is from this? Like, hold on, let me go all the way over here, right? And just looking at it in the game, right? You can see the difference, the structure from the surrounding areas and this giant castle keep area, and how extravagant it is even here, right? So Constantinople, right, of the Byzantine Empire, it was this like insane heaven on earth type of structure. It was coveted by all the things. It was renowned. So even the Bedouin Arabs, right, knew about Constantinople and how extravagant it was and how great it was. So um, the Muslims would be the one to conquer it. Which I mean, Constantinople has changed hands many times, but the first Muslim to do that was foretold, and it is a hadith that the Muslims will take over. And this is 630 AD, maybe prior to that. So this is almost 1,000 years before that it actually happens. And this is before the Abbasids and Umayyad would have their whole tiff, civil war, which was second civil war in Islam. I believe they might have one before that, but we do know, which as you see here, the Abbasids are in control of the larger Muslim empire, and the Umayyads over here in Andalus, in Spain, because of the you you could honestly, it kind of dates back all to the Khawarij, uh, the Kharijites with the Khalifa of Uthman, and Uthman was assassinated by the Khawarij, and then Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, the cousin, was like, are you going to take revenge on the Kharijites, which we know that all leads to the first Muslim civil war, and we have the Muawiyah camp versus the Ali camp, and then we have Karbala after that with Yazid. But that that happens. A fitna that we don't really need to get in depth about. Everyone knows what happened. And from that, the Umayyads would start the Umayyad Caliphate. And the Umayyad Caliphate starts with the Banu Umayyah. Right, the Banu Umayyah, it dates back to their tribe in the Quraysh. Right, the Banu Umayyah, um, and as Arabs. Right, and one of the things you're gonna see as a theme whenever you get to studying the history of the Umayyad dynasty, and then the Abbasid dynasty is for the Umayyads, right? And this is true during the time of Uthman, right? They they accuse him of nepotism, right? And nepotism is when you appoint positions of leadership to your family members and stuff like that. So you are not having, in the view of some people, by having nepotism, you're not having giving people a fair shake to have chances at authority or power in the realm, right? And honestly, like this isn't just a theme for the Muslim Empire, right? This is a theme for history, right? If you are going to be in charge and you are going to rise to power and become this important figure in any sort of country, realm, whatever, you are going to want to have people you trust, right? And generally, people trust their family. They trust their brothers and sisters and cousins and uncles. So most folks would say, yeah, if I'm going to be in charge, I'm going to definitely have my cousin or brother as my advisor, or my uh like spy master, my whatever, the commander of my army. You're going to have your family as your advisors and advisees. So that's just what's going to happen every time. And the ironic thing is, when the Umayyads were in charge, that's what they complained about. They complained about plenty of things, the taxes on the non-Muslims and all this stuff, and how they just didn't want them to be in charge. Not having the caliphate pass hands to, just as a vote of like trusted individuals. It was more so just like it's gonna go to family every time. And the Abbasids would strike up. They would have a revolution. Civil war would take place, and in 750 AD, the Abbasids would take over because this used to be controlled by the Banu Umayyad and the Umayyads. But the Abbasids would take over this in 750 AD, and the Umayyads would flee all the way to Spain and Andalus, and they would continue the Umayyad caliphate over here for about, let's see, 750. It was about 340 years until the year 10,050 AD, somewhere in that time frame, and that would all transpire, right? And this is before the Seljuks appear as well, and then eventually the Ottomans will come later on. This is before all that. But the year right now we're in, 867 AD. This is 200 years before the first Crusades happen, which Crusades happened in 1069, I want to say, maybe 1067. It's like 100, 200 years before that happens though. This is also 1st January. This is Saint Nick is alive. Saint Nick, the Pope. This is the Saint Nicholas that folks know and love and revere in modern Christian society and just in general in Christian society. And when you think about like Christmas, right? Saint Nicholas, Santa Claus, all the stuff, right? This is because they attribute this to him, this like great gift giving Pope who just was so loved and renowned and revered in the Catholic circles. And so we see that transpire over to today with Santa Claus and all this other stuff people believe in. So a lot of interesting things happen. He dies this year too. He Pope Nick dies either in November or December. I think it might have been December, because that's whole Christmas thing. But it was like right towards the end of the year where he dies this year. He gets he gets replaced by someone. But again, this is Pope Nick, Saint Nick, and this is about 200 years before the First Crusades. So eventually, this will all become the Ottoman land. 200, 300 years from now, this will all become the Ottoman land, and the Ottoman Empire will be the longest running Muslim empire and the last caliphate we have in the Muslim world. Because now we don't have one, obviously. Which honestly, having a khalifa like a khalifa of Islam, Sheikh al-Islam, would solve a lot of problems. Like it is solved so many problems. Just thinking about today, the whole like, okay, well, can we celebrate Eid now because we didn't see the moon, but Saudi saw the moon, so people are against Saudi seeing the moon because Saudi didn't do this, that, and third, or do we celebrate the Amad Nabi? All just things that would be easily remedied with having a Muslim leader in charge saying, "Hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we're following." Is like not make haram. Like just certain things that would just make it infinitely easier. Having to have a Khalifa of Islam, and this is why you have leaders. This is why you have someone who's in charge who makes a decision. And of course, in today's world, if we had Sheikh Islam, a Khalifa, there would be such backlash from people like, I can't believe I listened to the Khalifa. Like, what? And there'd be a bunch of people just spotting their Khalifas now. But the Khalifa would solve so many problems in today's world. But that's a different story for a different day. So inshallah, I hope this was a brief explanation and trying to set the story. I'll do another video, inshallah, which the game can go to the year 1066, which would show you it would show you the 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 Ottomans would be in charge at that point in time. And you will see the map is different at that point in time, and how the world has shaped up and changed differently. The Seljuks as well. So yeah, this is the Seljuks, and the funny thing is, the Ottomans are so cold. This is all theirs. This all became theirs, and then they come and take the Byzantine Empire, and they stop the crusade. Like so many things that had happened. Obviously, France became a thing, um, and all this stuff. But I will probably cover that at a different time at a different date. But just know that inshallah we will cover the fall of Constantinople, which is still standing, by the way. The Byzantine Empire, hundreds of years later, is still standing. Constantinople is still here. And so we'll cover the person that does that, inshallah. Hope everyone is having a great day and has a great day, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.